possible phase sequence, candid lang. Okay, so di ba we have two basic sequences. So meron tayong positive sequence and then meron tayong negative sequence. Okay, so when we say BCA, yan, so i-rotate lang po natin yan. So ibig sabihin yan, so yung ating phase, okay, yung ating mga voltages and current, so nagsa-start po yan sa B. Okay, phase B. And the next is the phase C or line C, and the next is also the phase or line A. Okay, so kahit inimba mo pa yan ng sequence, so pares pa rin po no, na 120 degrees yung kanilang angle displacement. Okay, so ang gagawin lang po dyan, engineers, is iikot nyo lang siya, i-rotate, kumbaga. Okay, i-rotate nyo lang po yan on the clockwise direction. Okay, so and then yun po yung equivalents nila. Okay, so therefore, we can also say na yung si BCA, yan, magro-rotate po tayo no, ng clockwise direction. Okay, so meaning si BCA, si rotate natin, iikot mo. Okay, so base tayo dito sa angle 0. So if you rotate this, so ang mangyayari dito is magiging ABC. Okay, so tama. So magiging ABC po siya. Okay, so and then another, so pag ni-rotate mo ulit si ABC, so dito na lang para mas maayos. Okay, so again, if you rotate BCA, one phase or one rotation, magiging ABC po siya. Okay, so ABC. Okay, and then ganun din, so kapag ni-rotate mo ulit si ABC, okay, parehas lang din po yan ng CAB. Okay, so rotate lang natin to. Okay, so therefore, that is also equivalent to C, and then A, and then B. Okay, so therefore, so ang sagot po dyan is also CAB. Okay, so from the choices, that is your letter C. Okay, so ganun din po no, pag ang tinanong ay negative sequence and so on. Okay, so rotate nyo lang po siya, so one revolution or one rotation. Okay, so on the clockwise direction. Okay, so that would be your answer. As we can see, so this is also known as the positive or ABC sequence. Okay, so that's number 2. So unahin po nating isolve yung mga walang choices kasi yun yung mga basic foundations natin. Okay? So sige, dito po tayo sa number 2. So in a balanced three-phase delta 2Y circuit, so ibig sabihin ulit ng delta 2Y circuit, so delta yung source mo. Okay, so while Y po yung ating load. Okay, so yan po yung ibig sabihin ng delta 2Y. So pag sinabing Y to Y, ganun din. Okay, so Y source, Y load, and so on. Okay, so the source is connected in the positive phase sequence. So again, if you say positive phase sequence, okay, ABC. Yan, so parang yung sinagot natin sa number 1. Okay, so with VAB is equivalent to 220 angle 20 degrees and ZY is equivalent to 20 plus J of 15 ohms. So question is to find the magnitude of the line currents. Okay, so na-discuss naman na nung lecture, engineer. So tandaan natin na kapag nagsosolve po tayo ng balance system, okay, so at balance system. Okay, kapag meron tayong balance system, so pwede tayong mag-solve by means of delta to delta or Y to Y analysis. Okay? So yan, first step, tandaan natin no, kapag hindi po parehas yung ating configuration, so ang una mong gagawin dyan, dapat ipaparehas mo. Okay? So pag balance, again, pwede tayong mag-delta to delta. Okay, delta to delta analysis or pwede rin tayong mag-Y to Y analysis. Okay, so parehas lang po dapat yung lalabas na sagot. Okay, so let's say mag-delta to delta analysis po tayo. So ibig sabihin, yung source ko delta, which is okay na, and then dapat yung load ko delta din. Okay, so as you can see in our given, so ang binigay po ay ZY. Okay, so we have your ZY is equivalent to 20. Okay, then plus J of 15 ohms. Okay, binanggit naman po dyan, engineers, na balance. Okay, so therefore, first thing to do is to transform our Y into delta. So we have your transformation. So kapag balance, Z delta is just equivalent to thrice of your ZY. So therefore, let's just multiply a factor of 3 para maging delta po siya. So 20 plus J of 15 ohms. Okay, so this is also equivalent to, yan, so we have 60 plus J of 45 ohms. Okay, so since delta to delta na po siya, so pwede na po nating makuha yung ating kuryente. But again, so if you are dividing or pag gumamit ka no, ng Z, automatic, ang mindset mo dapat laging phase lahat ng values. Okay? So therefore, so since magdi-divide tayo ng Z, so ang makukuha ko pa lang po dito is si line current. Okay? Phase current po na. Diba, using your Ohm's law, so we have your V per phase. Okay, so this is also equivalent to your I per phase multiplied by Z per phase. Okay, so since yung given po ay VAB, so therefore, ang gagawin natin, so kukunin natin si IAB. Okay, so that is also equivalent to VAB divided by ZAB. So, para mas madali, no? Kasi yun na po yung binigay. Okay, na voltahe. Anyway, pare-parehas lang naman yung magnitude, no, ng mga kuryente since balance po yan. So from that, so we can have 220. Okay, so angle 20 degrees. So tandaan natin, no, delta system po yan. So therefore, balance delta, parehas lang po yung line to line sa per phase natin. Okay, so V line to line is also the voltage per phase. So this is 220 angle 20 degrees. So this is divided by 60 plus J of 45 ohms. So ang kailangan lang natin is the magnitude. So just take the absolute value of that equation. And then calculate. So we have your mode 2. And then absolute value of 220. And then angle 20. So divided by 60. So plus 45I. Okay, so that would be 2.93 amperes. So but take note, engineers, so hindi pa po yan yung final answer natin. Okay, so again, so we are looking for the line current. Okay, so since we analyzed on delta to delta analysis, so therefore, at delta, so balance, so we have the magnitude of line to line current is also the square root of 3 of the magnitude of your per phase. Meaning, so your final answer there would be square root of 3. Then multiplied by 2.93 amperes. Okay? So then, yan na po yung final answer natin. So multiplied by square root of 3. Okay, so answer there would be 5.08 amperes. Okay, so engineers na, so sa quiz natin, pag walang choices, so wag ko na pong masyadong mag-stricto. Kung sagot lang dyan, 5 amperes, so pwede na po yan. Okay, kung 5 lang, kung walang unit, so okay na rin po yan. Okay, so ang goal naman, bakit namin ginawa na walang choices yung iba is that para makabisado natin yung mga basic foundations. Kasi karamihan ng mga examinees dito nadadali. Okay, so hindi nila alam kung kailan, kung paano talaga yung proper way of solving. Okay, so iniba lang yung given, ganyan, so nagkakamali na sila. Okay, so again, so sabi ko po kanina, so since balance po yan, so pwede rin po akong mag Y to Y analysis. Okay, so paano ba yun, sir? So ganito po siya. So ibig sabihin lang po niyan, again, so kung gusto mong mag Y to Y analysis, so i-transform mo lahat, okay, source and then Y sa, source and then load sa Y. So okay na po yung load natin, no? So ZY na. Okay, so just, ang kailangan lang natin is transform the source into Y. Okay, so since ang binigay po natin dyan is delta, diba? So meron po tayong ginagawa. Okay, na phase rotation. Parang ganyan. So, plot lang natin, no? So, we have your VAB, 220 angle 20. Let's say, andito po yung linya natin. So, VAB, so this is equivalent to 220 angle 20 degrees. Okay? Di ba, pag nagsasolve po tayo ng Y, okay, in terms with the voltage, ano pong ginagawa natin? So, yung line value, dinidivide natin ng square root of 3, while yung angle niya, binabawasan natin ng 30 degrees. So therefore, yung corresponding phase ng ating line VAB, so would be VAN. So again, so ang gagawin ko lang dyan, engineers, is yung magnitude niya, didividean ko lang yan ng square root of 3. Okay, so and then yung angle niya, babawasan natin ng 30 degrees. Okay, so yan po yung ating corresponding phase value. Okay, so yan. So therefore, so from that, so okay na, no? So we have already your phase at A, and then ganun din po yung ating load. So therefore, makukuha natin si IAN. So by means of VAN, then this is divided by ZAN. Okay, so taking the absolute value, so again, since we are just solving for the magnitude, so 220 divided by square root of 3. So, let's simplify this one. So, magiging negative 10 degrees. Okay, so then this is divided by, okay, so 20 plus J of 15 ohms. Okay, dapat po parehas lang yung sagot dyan. So again, so since nag-Y to Y analysis tayo, so tandaan natin for Y, so yung line to line, Y balance is also equivalent to your per phase. Okay? Ayan. So therefore, yung IA natin, so yung IA, yan yung line to line ng Y. Yung IAN, yan naman yung per phase ng Y. O, ganun din dito. So yung IA, yun po yung line ng delta. Yung IAB, yun naman yung phase ng delta. Okay, so from here, so dividean lang natin to ng square root of 3. So ganyan na lang. So absolute value, okay, so of 220, so over square root of 3. So then we have your angle of negative 10, then divided by 20 plus 15i. So your answer there must be the same, which is correct. So it is also 5.08 amperes. Okay, so therefore, tama yung sagot natin. Pang-check mo rin yan, no? So in case you are unsure with your answer. Okay, sige po. So that will be your number 2. Okay, so tandaan natin yung source lagi po yung balance, no? Unless may may fault or specified sa problem. But in the case of polyphase, so laging balance yan si source. Okay, sige, sasagutan po natin muna yung mga walang choices. Kung may time pa, pasadahan natin yung walang yung may choices. Okay, sige po, let's proceed on number 3. Okay, so given a delta connected source with line-to-line voltages of 100 volt RMS. Okay, so and delta connected load of 10 ohm resistors, calculate the power absorbed by each resistor. So ito engineer, so basic foundation po ng polyphase natin. So ang hinahanap natin dito is the power absorbed by each resistor. Para lang po tayong nagsi-single phase dito. Okay, so di ba the power absorbed by each resistor, so meaning that is per phase value. Okay? Each, no? So per phase. So power per phase, so maraming formula yan, no? So pwedeng V squared over R per phase, pwedeng I per phase times R per phase, or ayan, so V per phase, I per phase, then power factor. Okay, but since yung binigay lang po natin na load is 10 ohm resistor, ayan, so therefore pwede ko pong directly gamitin yung V per phase squared divided by the R per phase. Okay, so yung load lang daw niya, engineers, is just a resistor. So meaning unity power factor ito. Okay, so which is equivalent to 10 ohm. Okay, so again, so since we have a delta connected source, okay, so di ba sabi natin kanina, so pag delta, parehas lang yung line to line sa per phase voltage. Okay, so V line to line is also equivalent to V per phase, and then it is also 100 degrees or 100 volts. Okay, so no need with the angle, no, pag nagsasolve po tayo ng real power, so hindi mo na kailangang ilagay si angle. Okay, so from here, so direct sub. Yan, so we have your 100 square. So this is also divided by your resistors, which is 10. Okay, so yan lang. So direkta. So 100 squared over 10. So answer there is 1,000 watts. Okay? Yan. So kung total yung hinahanap, o di times 3. Okay, kung ang sagot mo ay 1,000 watts or 1 kilowatt, so parehas. Okay, so that would be your answer. So kapag Y naman yung binigay, o di dividean lang natin, no, ng square root of 3 yung ating voltahe. Okay, so yan po si number 3. Sige, take note of the solution. So si number 4, skip muna natin since meron po yung choices. Doon muna tayo sa number 5. Okay, so a 3-phase Y load of 20 plus J of 35 ohms per phase is connected across a 220 volt source. Determine the power factor and the total VARs. Okay, so total VARs, ano ba yung VARs? So that is the volt ampere reactive, or yan po yung Q natin. So ibig sabihin, ang hinahanap natin is the power factor and then yung Q. So for this number, engineers, pag hindi nakuha yung dalawa, mali, no? Okay, so you'll get 1 point kapag tama yung dalawa. Okay, so again, so basic foundation po ulit ng polyphase. So para makuha si power factor and the total bars, so maraming paraan, no? So una, to get the power factor, so pwede kay S, pwede kay Z, pwede yung angle difference ng voltage and then the current. Okay, so but as we can inspect on the problem, so ang pinakamadali pong gamitin is si S. Okay, or by inspection alone, no? So pwede mo nang makuha kagad si power factor kasi ito na yung Z mo na given. Okay, so but make sure that yung angle natin is 0 on the voltage. Anyway, so kahit ano naman pong gamitin nyo, so kung saan ka masanay, but for me, so ang gawin ko na lang is isolve ko na lang po si value ni S. Okay, para makuha ko na rin si Q. Diba? So yung S natin, S total, so that is also 3 multiplied by S per phase. Okay, so and then tatandaan natin, no, si S per phase, that is also equivalent to, yan, so V per phase squared, so divided by Z per phase. Ganun po ulit, engineers, no? So parang yung sinabi natin kanina, so bakit ka nag per phase doon? Kasi gumamit ka ng Z. Okay, and then gagamit po tayo dito ng conjugate method. Okay, so conjugate, so para mag-balance, no, yung sign ng S at saka ng ating Z. Okay, so ibahin lang natin yung sign yan sa calculator. So from here, so direct substitution. Okay, so kunin na natin kagad si S total. Dito na po tayo. Okay, so from here, so your S total now would be 3 times. Okay, so V per phase. So take note, engineers, with the connection. So we have your Y. Okay, so Y. Ayan. So therefore, so yung ating voltahe, ayan. Di ba default natin sa polyphase, pag wala pong binanggit kung ano pong type yon, kung per phase or line to line, so i-assume mo na line to line. Parang ito. Sa 3-phase Y load is connected across a 220 volt source. So wala pong binanggit kung ano yung 220 volts na yan. If that's the case, lagi mong i-assume na line to line voltage po yan. Okay, so V line to line is 220 and then pag walang angle, automatically that is angle 0 degrees. Okay? So again, so since we have your Y load, yan, so meaning, so yung line-to-line voltage natin, so is also equivalent to the square root of 3 of your per phase value. Okay? So kailangan natin sa formula would be the per phase. So meaning, so and then tandaan nyo rin po, engineers, no, so sa ating calculation, no, ng S, so ilagay mo yung angle. Okay? So from here, so this is equivalent to, so we have your 220. Yan, so 220 divided by square root of 3. Okay, so ilagay mo yung angle doon sa Z. Okay, so square root of 3, so since angle 0 naman yung voltage, so kahit wala na yan sa calcube. So squared, and then this one is divided by your Z per phase, so which is 20. So conjugate, no, wag kalimutan. Okay, so conjugate of, we have your 20 plus J of 35 ohms. Okay, so from that, so calculate. Okay, so we have your 3, so then multiplied by 220, so over your square root of 3. Okay, so and then this is squared, so this is divided by conjugate. Okay, so of 20 plus 35i. Okay, so answer there, so pwede natin yung i-express sa polar and then pwede rin natin i-express sa rectangular. So nahin muna natin sa polar, so this is also 1, 2. Okay, so 1200.66, so we have your angle. Okay, so 60.26. Okay, degrees, volt, ampere. Okay, so di ba for your polar form ng ating S, so yung magnitude, syempre yan yung magnitude ni S. Okay, so and then yung corresponding angle niya, so yan naman po yung power factor angle. Okay, so if the case is positive, therefore that is a lagging. Okay, so kapag negative, it is leading. Okay, so pwede naman natin yung i-transform so into polar. O ilagay nyo lang kayo sa calculator. Automatic na yan na polar, so this is also, or na rectangular. So this is also equivalent to 595.69. Okay, then plus J of 1042. Okay, so 0.46 volt ampere. So again, so pag sa rectangular naman, so yung real part, so yan yung real power or your P. Okay, and then yung imaginary part, yan yung ating reactive or Q. Okay? So kunin natin si value ni power factor. So it is just the cosine of your power factor angle. So cosine of 60.26. Okay, so the answer there would be equivalent to, okay, so cosine of 60.26. Yan, so that is 0.496 or 0.5. Okay, so lagging. Yan, kung sinagot mo 0.5, okay na po yan. Sige, engineers, considered kung walang nilagay na lagging since hindi naman in-state sa problem natin. Pero dapat alam mo pa rin i-classify, no? Kasi positive kaya lagging. Okay, so whereas yung ating reactive power naman, so QT, so andyan na po. So 1,042 and 0.46 bars. Okay, so these are the two answers. So 0.496 or 0.5. Pwedeng i-consider kahit hindi nilagay si lagging, pero much better pag nilagay yung lagging. Okay, so that are your two answers. And so pag may maling isa, wrong. Okay, so that's your number 5. And so next one na i-solve natin. So yung walang choices ulit. Doon tayo sa number 9. Okay, so number 9. So generator supplies 3-phase power to balance load. Okay, so the voltage is 230 volts. The current is 18 amperes. Okay, so and the power factor is 85%. What is the power? Okay? Yan, so 3-phase. Okay, again, default natin, no? So sana sa polyphase kasi crucial na dapat malaman natin kung ano yung mga given values, kung naka-per phase ba or kung naka-line to line. When it comes to power, kung naka-per phase din ba or kung naka-total power. So again, tandaan natin, pag walang binanggit, okay, the default is line to line. Parang ito, so voltage line to line is 230, angle 0. Okay? So kung wala ding binanggit kung anong type ng sequence, positive sequence. Okay, kung walang binanggit kung nasaang sequence or nasaang phase yung ating binigay na value, nasa phase A. Meaning, yung V line to line na yan, na 230, nasa VAB yan. Okay, so mga ganong analysis. Ganon din si kuryente, no? So wala pong binigay kung per phase or linya. Okay, and then walang indication. So therefore, again, that is also your line to line. Okay, line to line, that is equivalent to 18. Yan, so hindi yan angle 0, no? So since yung power factor natin 85%. So ang binigay lang dyan is magnitude. Okay? Ayan, so and then power factor given. So hindi naman na natin kailangan sa solution kung i-classify ba yan kung lagging or leading. So ang hinahanap lang power. So ganun din po engineers sa power, pag walang in-specify or pag walang binanggit, so ang i-assume mo dyan yung total. Okay, so ibig sabihin sa lahat po ng phases or yung sum of the phases. Yan, so ang hinahanap lang ay total power. Madami kayo ulit formula. Okay, so but ang pwede nating gamitin is square root of 3. So most convenient, no? So line to line current, ay line to line voltage multiplied by the line to line current multiplied by your power factor. Okay, so direct. So therefore this is square root of 3 multiplied by, so again for your power, no need to include the angles. Okay, so 230, then this is multiplied by 18, then this is multiplied by 0.85. Yan na po yung total power natin. Yan, so sana makabisado natin itong mga gantong gantong mga formulas and concepts. Okay, so para kahit paikot-ikutin yung problem or baguhin yung given, so nakukuha pa rin natin. Okay, so ang sagot po dyan is 6,095.09 watts. Kung ang sinagot, 6,100, so okay na po yun, i-round off. Kung in-express sa kilowatts, okay lang din po. Okay, basta tama yung solution mo. Okay, so yan po yung ating answer. Sige, paki-take note. So, yung ating number 9. Okay, so next. So, another na walang choices, yung number 11. So, let's solve number 11. So, A, 170 kilovolt. Ganun ulit. Okay, so yung 170 kilovolt na yan, line-to-line value. Okay, so 3-phase electric source delivers 200 MVA. Ito rin. So, walang binanggit na per phase, so meaning, total po yan. Okay, so since MVA is... Okay, so to a balance which has a power factor of 0.90 lagging. Question is, so what is the magnitude of line current? Okay, balik tayo dito engineers nga po pala. So kung ang ginamit mo or ginawa mo dito sa number 5, so para makuha si Q ay yung I per phase squared multiplied by X per phase. So the same lang din po yun, no? So again, sabi ko nga po, so any solutions will do. So kasi napakarami nga pong paraan para masolve ang isang EE problem. Okay? So kung saan ka pinaka-komportable and saan yung sigurado ka, so yun yung gamitin. Okay? So pero may mga shortcuts tayo na ituturo. So kung kaya, pwedeng i-adapt. Okay, sige po. So number 11 tayo. Okay, so ito naman, ang hinahanap is magnitude lang daw. So magnitude of line current, so therefore, we will take the absolute value. Okay, so again, so from your formula, si S naman, di ba, S total. So madami ulit tayong paraan para makuha yan. So but pinaka-convenient, so would be the square root of 3. So multiplied by the line to line, multiplied by line to line voltage, then multiplied by the line to line current. So wala nang power factor, no? So from here, so diretso. So solving for the line to line current. So this is equivalent to S total. So we have your 200 times 10 raised to 6. So since magnitude na lang po yung hinahanap, so hindi ko na ilalagay yung angle ng S. Pero kung kailangan po, tandaan natin yung angle ng S, that is also the power factor angle. Okay, so kaya kung ilalagay mo yan, ganyan po yan. 200 angle positive inverse cosine is 0.90. Okay, in case kailangan sa problem. But since hindi na, so no need. Okay, so this is divided by yan, so your square root of 3, so then multiplied by the line-to-line voltage. So you have your 170, then times 10 raised to 3. Okay, yan na po kagad yung sagot natin. So 200 times 10 raised to 6, so divided by square root of 3. Then 170 times 10 raised to 3. So your answer there would be 679.24 amperes. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, so pag gumamit ng line-to-line values sa mga power, ang gagamitin nyo dyan, square root of 3. Pero pag gumamit ka ng mga per phase values, ang gagamitin mo is 3. Okay, kunwari, so sir, gusto ko I per phase. So, pwede rin naman, diba? 3 V per phase, I per phase. Yan, pwede rin po yan. Express mo na lang yung V per phase. Okay, so divide mo to ng square root of 3. Kasi nga po, pag walang binanggit na connection, okay, so ang a-assume mo dyan, Y. Okay, yun naman yung default natin. Sige po, so that's number 11.